Hello and welcome to our very first video podcast. We're Elena and Igor Yasno. We are from California, and today is Wednesday, April 26, 2023. And exactly 7 days from today, we're flying to Warsaw. And from Warsaw, we're going to take an overnight train to Kiev, Ukraine, to the war-torn Ukraine, to see it, to experience it with our own eyes, to feel everything that people are, not everything, but whatever people are going through in Kiev. And we will try to keep you updated on our travel.
So we will spend a few days in Warsaw, and then when we get to Kiev, it will be already May 7th. We'll get there by 1 p.m. Hopefully, our friends will come and pick us up, and they'll drive us to the apartment which we already rented, and we'll share this apartment with another member of our team, and we will tell you about him a little bit later. And we'll take a walk. We'll see what's going on in the city. Hopefully, the weather will cooperate, and then we will record some things, come home, and that will be yet another post that we will make. But before we talk about exactly what is going to happen in Ukraine, let's introduce ourselves a little bit more and the other members of our team.
Okay, so I'm Elena. This is Igor. We're a married couple. We've been married for 44 years. Ooh. We both were born in Kyiv, Ukraine during the Soviet times. We immigrated to the United States in 1977, where we met and got married eventually. And we basically lived most of our lives in the United States. We have a wonderful, beautiful family. We have two sons. We have a wonderful, beautiful granddaughter. And we have built our lives, most of our lives, here in the United States. We have traveled all over the world. We visited over 120 countries. And for some reason, Ukraine always has this special place in our hearts. And for some reason, especially after the Soviet Union fell apart, we've been traveling to Ukraine continuously. And right now, since the war broke out, we feel that we really need to come back. And why? We will talk about it later.
So, needless to say, we've collected a lot of stamps in our passports, and hopefully there are a few empty pages for us to make this trip. And the last time we were in Ukraine was in September of 2021. We've taken a group of 16 friends to see the country. We started in Odessa and then drove all the way to the western border with the city of Lviv, beautiful, wonderful coffee and chocolate capital of Ukraine. And proud to say that everyone on this group absolutely fell in love with the way the country looks today and how friendly the people are. And no one could imagine that just a few months from then, we would have the beginning of this absolutely brutal, unjust, and terrible war that devastated the country. More than 8 million people became refugees, many of our friends among them. Other friends picked up the old AK-47s and went to the front lines defending their towns and cities. The impact was absolutely devastating. And of course, it is still going on. And we all working toward the victory.
But, from the day, well, actually, the war started in reality in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea. But we were involved in this. We were participating in demonstrations in support of Ukraine. But majorly, we got involved very actively in February of last year, so 15 months ago, almost 15 months ago. We have been doing presentations. We have been talking to everybody who would listen to us about Ukraine, about the complications of lives of Russia and Ukraine, why Ukraine is fighting for what they're fighting for. They want to be free. They want to be independent. They want to be westernized and civilized country. And we started to, besides just all these conversations and presentations and participations, we started to collect donations. And donations, every penny that we have collected has been going to the actual people. These are friends of ours, friends of our friends, people that we know or our friends know or our family knows. These are money that was spent, every penny that was accounted for. We bought drones, we bought medications, we bought cars and trucks, we bought tourniquets, we bought everything that they need for survival against this atrocious war.
And not just survival, also, but proud to say that we were able to kick the Russian ass a few times, hopefully with our small input. Altogether, we've collected about $80,000, and that's quite a bit of money, especially for us, the non-professionals. So, but the fact that 100% of the money was spent on the useful things, not on salaries or conferences or anything else, I think speaks volumes. And we're very happy with that. So many people are waiting for us in Ukraine, but we're not traveling alone. We are going with a team from Connecticut. They are the guys who were able to set up a sister city program with 3 towns in Connecticut and 3 towns in Ukraine. And we're joining forces with them, and hopefully can do some wonders here on the West Coast. Another young man from La Jolla, California, is coming with us. His name is Ron. He's 29 years old, and he has no Ukrainian roots, and yet he decided to come on his own dime, and he is already in transit, and will meet us in Kyiv at the railroad station. So Ron is going to introduce himself in this short video. Please take a look, and then we'll come back.
I'm Ron Zappardino. As Igor mentioned already, I'm going to be joining him and Elena on this aid mission to Ukraine. The first thing people always ask when I tell them that is, why? Why are you going? The funny thing is that before I even finish my answer, people seem to already understand it. Because I'm far from the only person that feels this way. Since this war got started, we as Americans have just been captured by it in a way that no conflict really has in our lifetimes, and there's good reason for that. It's because what the Ukrainians have done has been nothing short of incredible. They've had to contend with the nightmare scenario, and they've responded to it by banding together, protecting one another, sacrificing, leaving their jobs, leaving their fates, and going out and fighting for one another up against Goliath, with initially no promise that anyone would have their back. But we have had their back. And I'm just one of the hundreds of millions of Americans that are extremely proud of what the Ukrainians have done and what our country has been able to do to help enable them to continue to win like this. There's a phrase: America doesn't lose wars, America loses interest. We have everything that we need to win this war. The only thing that can stop us is if we lose interest. That's why I'm going to Ukraine. I'm going because I hope that there's something that I can see, some small thing that I can capture, that we can bring home and show Americans, show the world, that just helps drive our donations and our care and our understanding just a little bit further. Because as long as we do that, as long as Americans continue to care, as long as we don't lose interest, we can win this war. So to do my tiny part towards a more free world, a more peaceful world, and a world that I'll be happy to give to my kids one day. Slava Ukraini, and God bless America. So it was nice to meet you all, and you'll be seeing more of me as we depart and travel to and see Ukraine in the coming
I mentioned earlier, Ron has no roots with Ukraine, but he's never been there before. So the timing is absolutely amazing to be able to go not just to a country, but during It's the bloodiest war of the 21st century. But nevertheless, he's brave and he wants to help. And we're very happy to have him along, to come along.
So I guess the difficult question for us, for all of us, and I bet Ron too, is why are we doing it? In fact, I was thinking of naming this podcast, this whole vlog, as why. Why are we doing it? Why are we going? This is going to be the most important trip of our lives, and I think it's very very difficult. It was a very difficult decision. I mean, I still am very anxious and very excited at the same time. I don't have any fear. I'm not afraid, but I feel that I need to go, and I will talk about myself. I'm sure Igor has his own views of this, but for me, I think the decision maker was Igor was planning on this trip for a while. I wasn't decided. I decided on it when President Biden landed all of a sudden, a few days before a 1 year anniversary of this atrocious war in Kiev. And when I saw that and I felt that he went there, I felt that, you know what, I should do it. We cannot just sit on the sidelines and watch this from outside. We have to participate any which way we can and then come back and bring our information, bring our experience, bring our stories to anybody who will listen to us. We will tell you, just give us a chance.
Right. So actually, tonight, Elena and I will speak in front of the Calabasas City Council and tell them about the trip and encourage them to participate in this as well. And then when we come back, we will have a lot more meetings and present them with a couple of candidates for the Sister City initiative. And hopefully, we will be able to help those towns. But a lot of people are waiting for us, as I said before. One of them is the chief rabbi of Ukraine. Believe it or not, there is such a person, and he is going to meet us in the Central Synagogue near the Olympic Stadium in Kiev, a place very dear to my heart. And we're going to talk to him about how it feels to be a Jew in Ukraine right now, and quite a few of them are there. Quite a few of them going back to visit the holy places of Uman and others. So it's going to be a lot of interesting conversations, and Ron is going to record all those conversations, and hopefully that's the content we will have in order to persuade other people that this is a very worthwhile event to support Ukraine. So at this point, we'd just like to ask you to continue watching us, monitor this YouTube channel, subscribe to it, share it with your friends and family, and we will be sending out Facebook updates as well, and Instagram updates, and whatever else there is in this wonderful world of ours nowadays. So stay tuned, and wish us luck. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!